Wonder Woman, starring the immortal Linda Carter. Today we're talking about Diana's Disappearing Act. This is a pretty good episode. I love all of the episodes of Wonder Woman. But for these reviews, I'm trying to be a bit more critical of every episode. So this one's not going to get, it's going to get a very good score, but it's not going to get a super great score. It'll get a decent score. The basic, so for the storyline, I'm going to give it a 1.5. The storyline is actually cool. It's a comic book type storyline with a cool villain. So you have Cagliostro, who is the descendant of the original. He's an alchemist, magician. He's the best magician ever. And he's found a way to turn lead into gold, except asterisk, hashtag, whatever, disclaimer, it turns back to lead after a couple of days. So what he's going to do is he's going to sell it to one of these big, huge, like oil manufacturing guys or whatever, and oil distributing guys. And he's going to sell it for half price because he's a nice guy. He's not trying to gouge people. He's going to sell it for $10 million. And but because of that, though, the oil companies are going to start raising their rates to kind of offset that cost. And it's going to destroy the economy. And it's going to turn everything into Mad Max, the Road Warrior. Everyone's going to be killing each other for gas and all that. So Agent Diana Prince has to stop this. Now, this is one of these ones where it is a comic book-ish storyline. Magician guy. Now, he doesn't actually have real magic unless you count turning the lead into gold magic. But that's a technical process, which they don't really explain, but it doesn't last long anyway. So it's relatively believable for this, TV show, and it is Wonder Woman. So I kind of like the storyline. My only thing is I wish there would have been a better battle with Cagliostro versus Wonder Woman. I wish there would have been a bet. He sort of just like does a couple of things and he just disappears. And you're like, I wanted there to be more. I wish they would have pushed that further. But as it is, the story was okay, and the pacing was all right as well. So I'm going to give the pacing a 1.5 as well. I actually followed along the clues, and it was fun. You had Ed Begley Jr. in there. He was a cool guy. He was like this magician who had a crush on Diana, and but he's very fumbly, and his tricks don't work out properly, and this kind of a thing. So it's a bit of a cute relationship there. So it did make it go a little bit better for pacing. It wasn't like super action packed. There should have been more Wonder Woman stuff, really. I'd like to see significant appearances. Like it's like, if you remember the Incredible Hulk TV show, which is a great television show and won awards and all that, it's awesome. I own it, of course. But you got like 1.5 Hulk appearances, like he turned Hulk and smashed some stuff and like pose, and that'd be the end of it. Wonder Woman, I always felt, was the best of these, not counting the Adam West show. That was clearly the best because he's Batman all the time. But Wonder Woman, it was a bit better than, like, let's say Spider-Man, Hulk, the Red Brown films. So I want, in this one, I want to see more of her, especially with this other villain guy who looked pretty cool. For the artistry, I'm going to give it a 1. There wasn't anything crazy happening. Like, there was some cool magic stuff, but it's just magic stuff. It wasn't, I want to see Wonder Woman use her abilities a lot, right? Once she is in the costume, like once the spin happens, there needs to be lots of Wonder Woman. And I felt that it was kind of like, oh, she'd spin a bit and then she'd spin and do something and then that'd be it. And there needs to be more going on. And I think, obviously it's saving costs. The less time you have Wonder Woman doing stuff, the more costs you're saving. But sometimes it's at an expense of, well, now this isn't as exciting. So the artistry suffered a little bit on this one. I did talk about the characters. So for the characters, I'm going to give it a 1.5. I actually really liked the characters here. Cagliostro was great. He was and then he had Morgana, who was this other magician lady. She was good. I actually liked everybody. It's just, I wish there would have been just a little bit more. Again, this is one of these episodes where that was fine. You watch, you're like, that was good, but I wanted a little bit more, just a bit more. So I still, I can't remember now. This is the third time watching these. And I don't mean as a kid, I would watch this all the time, But me actually sitting down proper, put the disc in. First time was on DVD. I think I watched it twice on DVD. It's my third time on Blu-ray. So I don't remember exactly. I can't remember if this guy comes back or not. Like, there are recurring villains that do come back. I can't remember if this guy was one of them, but he was really damn cool. So that was for the characters. For the enjoyment factor, I'm going to give it a 1.5. I did enjoy this episode, and it felt like a comic book story. So the things that I'm looking for are Wonder Woman action, number one. That's number one, even if it's not a comic book type story. Lots of Wonder Woman action. Number two, there needs to be like a cool villain, somewhat comic book kind of type villain, somewhat comic book type story. So I got that. I just wanted more Wonder Woman action. This is also one of the times where people are now having crushes on Diana. It used to be Diana would be very nerdy with the glasses. She had those big, huge kind of 70s glasses, and she'd be like downplayed. Her hair would be all tied back. And that's not really happening that much anymore. Now they're acknowledging her beauty more and more. And I mean, it's fine because Steve Trevor's not working directly with her. So he's not like he's seeing Diana walk in and then Wonder Woman walk in 5 minutes later, like, hey, that's you, right? Like, that's not happening as much. So I can kind of accept it. But it is a little bit weird. Like, you would definitely, like, I don't think you would confuse Wonder Woman and Linda Carter if you saw them, but, or Diana, but they're doing it pretty good. Like, you know, a lot of people, they're not exactly seeing her, so you kind of just accept it. It was already a little bit tough, but before she would have the big glasses, her hair would be all done up in a bun or something, and she'd be wearing a cap or something like that. And you might maybe not really noticing. Now they're full on having her out in like gowns. And the next episode, she's like, the guy has like a big time. He's in love with her. So anyway, that's that. Really like this one. It's a 7 out of 10. So decent. But not the best. It's probably like a mid-tier Wonder Woman episode. So there you go. If you like Wonder Woman, please check out my Wonder Woman playlist. Lots of stuff on there, including comic books as well. So there you go, guys. Thanks for watching. Until next.
Hey friends, you've just been listening to J-Man, and he is the smartest person who ever lived. So make sure you like and subscribe.